OK, so we're hearing about the military taking the Republican palace in Khartoum. I mentioned before this is the last heavily guarded bastion. The latest information we're getting, the Sudanese military saying this is a tipping point. This is the moment they start to get momentum in the conflict. Let's get a sense of whether that is the case. Let's bring in Ali Trayo. He's a writer, an analyst on African affairs, a former peace negotiator on the Darfur peace track as well, which aimed to resolve the conflict in Darfur during the Juba peace agreement signed back in 2020. He's here with us in the studio. Great to have you with us, Ali. Let's begin on what you're making of today's events.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to share my readings with you. If you allow me, just before to deal with your question, I would like to make some few factual facts on the surrounding this war. Number one, what is going in Sudan is more of an invasion, foreign invasion. That means foreign fighters backed by foreign countries, and the militia of the RSF are just used as a tool. It's just useful idiots. They are not decision makers. They are not actual. They are just executing. And the purpose of this war, from the perspective of the invaders, is to divide the country and to destroy. Number two, what I'm saying is substantiated by the behavior of the Janjaweed itself, or the militia. You know, it's just killing, looting, destroying, and even burning people alive, raping. All that shows what is going on in Sudan is more of an invasion. Now, coming to your question, I think what happened is a major shift of events, and it's a turning point, and a strategic turning point, because if you look at the situation, just 3 months ago, the militia were, as they said, and also as the media says, were controlling 85% of capital. Not only that, but they were also controlling the entire region of Al Jazeera, the most populous and the most fertile part of the Sudan, including its capital, Medani. Now, within these 3 months, the militia is retreating and falling apart, and everything is getting out of control.
Yes.
And so on. So
well, let me put to you, Ali, you talk about, in your view clearly is with the Sudanese army. The UN has looked at the situation. The UN has analysed the situation in Darfur fighting and said there have been alleged war crimes committed, not just by the RSF, and they have been vast, including rape, sexual assault and killings, but also by the Sudanese army as well. There's no clean side that we're hearing from the UN in this. There's no good versus bad. There are different actors with different support, as you suggested, from different foreign interventions, support from the UAE, alleged to be continuing its support through getting gold from the RSF, but also Sudanese forces getting support from Egypt as well. So we're in this situation where it's been protracted for 2 years. And we're seeing these incredible images of the presidential palace, trying to explain why who takes the palace takes the capital, why that claim is there. Have you seen it? Just give us a sense of the city and why the palace is so important.
Well, before that, I think...
No, on that question first, then we can return.
Why the palace is important is palace is a symbol of the sovereignty of the country, and the militia were in control of the military headquarters, and the airport, and other major areas of installations. But the capital has peculiar significant because it is a capital of the country. So I guess soon the entire administration will move into Khartoum, to the capital, and I stay there in the Republican balance.
Do you think it will sway the international community into leaning further towards the Sudanese army if they manage to capture Khartoum to be more of the legitimate force in this rivalry between two separate leaders who both believe for the Rapid Support Force and for the Sudanese army they are the rightful continuation of, well, let's face it, of a non-democratic society? The idea was to pass the rule on to the people, and that hasn't happened, has it?
Well, I think it is quite hard to talk about democracy and democratic transformation under the mess of the war. This has to be established first. Now the reality is that it is a war. This is one. Two, the issue of legitimacy or non-legitimacy, the army is a national institution, while the militia is a private militia. So I don't see any ground on how to compare on that.
Well, these two men were both instrumental in the downfall of the former president, to which both of them played a part and believed that they had respected authority, to which now we're seeing, I'm sure you would agree on both sides, these two men essentially ripping the country apart with millions of people. This is described as the biggest humanitarian disaster in the world. There's like 12 million people as well displaced. I mean, on the face of it, you must look at both sides, even if you're supporting one, and realise this is not a situation that you would want to see right now, and there has to be blame towards the Sudanese army too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, of course, to have such kind of a disastrous humanitarian situation, but let's face the reality, because when the UN UN Security Council passed a resolution to call the RSF to lift the blockade from Khartoum, that means naming and shaming. The army, as they are also involved in the conflicts, of course, they are always collateral damage. Nobody can deny that. But I think at the end of the day, it is the militia, as I explained to you, because if you look at the behavior of the militia, and it is not a claim, it is substantiated by major media and international organizations such as New York Times, Washington Post, BBC, France 24, everybody is reporting, the UN itself.
Is reporting what? Everybody's reporting what?
Everybody is reporting that the militia, the RSF, committed
atrocities.
Atrocities that amount to war crimes.
Yes, and UN saying both sides to be investigated. Ali, thank you. Ali Trayo, trying to make sense of the situation in Khartoum with us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.